This episode of Twin Speaks contains spoilers.
Knives Out, starring Daniel Craig, Jamie Lee Curtis, Ana de Armas, and Chris Evans. Directed and written by Rian Johnson. I'm your co-host, Pat. You can find me on Twitter at KidCombo, and I'm, of course, joined by my twin brother and co-host. You can find him on social media at Animonium. It's Andrew.
There's a different energy to that intro.
I'm fired up!
From doing what?
Nah, nothing.
Come in here and you were just watching trailers.
And then Georgia was like, hounding us to get going here. Can she hear us?
I don't know. The fear for my life.
Okay. Do you want to get straight into it?
Sure.
Do you want to riff a little bit?
What do you got?
No.
See? Yeah. It's a good thing I said no.
Fuck, I did have something. And I was trying to remember it throughout the entire day because it was like something someone at work had told me yesterday.
Is this the riff? Are you riffing about a riff you had in mind?
I had one in mind, and then I forgot it.
I heard about this Australian song, apparently, that anytime it's played, you're supposed to dance, and it's called Nutbush, and I could not stop laughing at the name Nutbush. They didn't know it's named Nutbush.
Where did you hear this?
This is another podcast.
Oh, okay. Nutbush.
Nutbush, yeah. It's apparently some catchy Australian song.
You're supposed to dance when you hear it?
Yeah, apparently.
Like the grunt or the ring where you see the
yeah,
and then
you die. So it's nothing like the ring. It's quite possibly the opposite of the ring, where A, you live, and B, you dance.
Hey, you don't know that, man.
I have a pretty good idea.
Did you see the new Wonder Woman trailer?
I literally just watched it with you.
Good.
Hypothetical fucking question.
Hey, what are you doing revealing the,
yeah, pulling the curtain away.
The preparation
I'm burning the curtain down.
The new Wonder Woman sequel, Wonder Woman 1984, has gotten its first trailer, starring Gal Gadot. Did we ever decide how we're supposed to do that?
I'm like,
because I thought she was on like Jimmy Fallon or something. She's
Fallon?
like Gadot.
It's
Yeah.
Jamie Fallon. Continue. PR trick.
How do you do yours?
But I'm not going to do it twice because I have no idea.
No, you can't.
You
really
just
do
did it normal. You
can't really do it.
You just paused in the middle.
And
True.
Chris Pine, Kristen Wiig as Cheetah, Pedro Pascal as Maxwell Lord.
Do we know she's Cheetah?
Yeah, it's in the cast list. Directed by Patty Jenkins and written by Patty Jenkins, Jeff Johns, and David Callahan.
Ham,
yeah. I started giggling when I read it.
Sounds like Spider Pig's like real name. Porky Callahan. Porky Callahan.
So it's set in 1984. Diana Prince comes into conflict with two formidable foes, Maxwell Lord and Cheetah.
I like how
he's Kristen Wiig once in this trailer.
I like how he's holding at one point just like a rock.
Okay, I thought that was supposed to be kryptonite.
I don't think it's kryptonite.
It would make sense if
it's
it
not
was.
Green.
I don't know. It kind of looked green to me. That's immediately where I thought it
looked yellow.
Really?
Yes, it did. It wasn't green.
I think it was green.
I gotta look it up.
Okay, well, I think I'm right.
Wow,
so we'll go with mine.
Great job. All I ask you to do is just kill some time. He's holding a mysterious crystal.
Oh,
so
could be anything. It could be.
Well,
kryptonite.
it could not be anything. It's a crystal.
Kryptonite's a crystal.
It's like quartz. It's like green quartz.
That's a crystal.
Yeah, you're right. Great, I forgot. Yeah. Quartz is a crystal. All right, you geology nerd.
So you only see Cheetah like one time in this?
It's like 3 times.
Kristen Wiig?
You know what, Patrick? Why don't you just give it a break, okay? You're wrong all the time. Anyways, continue.
Pedro Pascal. Sorry, I almost said Patrick Pascal. Looked cool.
That's his
He looked
white
great.
name.
I thought. What'd you say?
I said that's his white name.
Patrick.
His Catholic name. Peter
Patrick Pascal.
Pascal. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he looked great.
Yeah.
He looked cool. I don't really know anything about Maxwell Lord. Wasn't he in one of the other movies and then they like recasted him though?
No. He apparently this rock thing is supposed to grant wishes.
That's sick.
Yeah. And like one of the things he does.
First wish, I wish for more rocks.
Yeah, I wish for more hands and more rocks.
And my name to be Callahan. No, Callahan.
Callahan.
I want to be rid of this curse.
And he just kind of looks at the camera.
This one's for you, buddy.
Yeah. Apparently he grants wishes or something, and part of Steve Trevor coming back is like he's fake, maybe a clone or something. I don't know.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So he's like he's Steve Trevor, but then like apparently like he's been created through a wish to try and like maybe entice Diana. Like I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Okay. Okay.
You know what? That thing could not be for wishes. Maybe he just has a pet rock. He just has a pet crystal.
Maybe that's Callahan.
That's Callahan. Quartz Callahan.
Very good.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a good, like fine trailer. It was.
It's the first trailer is always the shittiest.
Yeah, it was just like a lot of action scenes. There was one comment I read, and it was like Gal Gadot, always reads like her dialogue for Wonder Woman is always as if she's reading the script for the first time. And like watching that, I could not think of that because it's just like she has this like rigid delivery.
Yeah.
For everything.
I don't think
that being said, it's not
like awful, but like yeah, it's not like she's not winning any Oscars.
No. But yeah, it looked fine. It looked cool. Like the action scenes were cool in the first one, so it looks cool in this one too.
Yeah.
Speaking of trailers, the new Ghostbusters sequel, Ghostbusters Afterlife, has gotten its first trailer.
What a weird name for it.
Yeah. I thought that was strange too. I don't really get it.
This feels like Stranger Things. Like I know that like
yeah. Well, speaking of which, that even like the mall scene in that trailer of Wonder Woman made me think that too. It was even like how they
mall.
like zoomed in and out of the mall.
Maybe it's
like,
just one mall. You never know.
I mean, it kind of
it's in the
like
same universe.
One. Yeah. Is it?
They're both in the 80s.
That's the universe.
The
It's
80s.
Always in the 80s.
Just 1984.
Yeah, this just looked like Stranger Things. It's a bit of like the trend of like that nostalgia
teenager film. Yeah.
It's just like the kids.
He's even in this. Finn Wolfhard's in this.
Yeah, which is fucking weird. I don't.
He also is kind of throwing me off because he's like such a teenager now. Like
yeah.
Like he's so skinny and lanky and weird looking.
He's got a teenager voice.
Yeah, and you're like, God, you're just an alien now. There's just that point with like teenagers where they just look like aliens.
What?
Like, yeah, I mean, like, well, not. I didn't mean to sound so like confident about that. Yeah, but like, yes.
Yeah, they're all aliens.
Yeah. Why can't you people see this? They're just so lanky and weird looking. Just like you now, bitch.
What?
Alien.
Okay.
Those are my clone.
Yeah, this looked fine. I don't know. It was like the same thing as like there's a lot of Stranger Things stuff happening, and they're like in a small town, and then something happens, and I did think like them driving around that car, the actual
Ecto 1.
Yeah, Ecto 1, and like it has the gunner seat.
It's got the
He's
gunner
like, "It's got a gunner
seat.
And, like she like flies out of it. So I was like, fuck, that looked like it actually looked a bit dangerous.
Well, yeah, it's a gunner seat. You're just exposed. You know why they call it a gunner seat? Oh. I thought you would know.
I thought you were setting up a joke.
No.
Because
you get gunned down.
Paul Rudd's in this.
Yeah.
So it's
playing Paul Rudd. Playing
Ghostbusters
super fan Paul Rudd.
McKenna Grace, Finn Wolfhard, and Paul Rudd. Directed by Jason Reitman and written by Reitman and Gil Keenan. Yeah, he was in it. He's like a teacher or something. He looked cool.
Yeah.
It's cool seeing him in this. They like this is supposed to be a direct sequel, is what I
guess
understood.
Yeah.
Because then
It plays weird though. Like it seems weird because like it's supposed to be a sequel in a universe where Ghostbusters, like ghosts were real but haven't been seen in fucking
30,
forever.
he says like 30 years. Yeah.
So that's like this weird, like it's almost like a legend at this point.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to be current day, I guess.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. It's like a weird vibe, but like I guess that's fun.
So I was talking to someone about this, but that means that the all female cast with like Melissa
It's
McCarthy.
not-
That's just like that's not.
But I
canon
think
then.
that was always the case. Was that was
like, let's make a remake one.
alternate type thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the premise for this one says, after being evicted from their home, 2 children and their single mother moved to Somerville, Oklahoma, after inheriting property from their late grandfather. When the town experiences a series of unexplained earthquakes, the children discover their families linked to the original Ghostbusters, who have become something of a myth, as many of the long since forgotten events of the Manhattan cross rip of 1984 and the secret legacy that their grandfather left behind. So it's supposed to release July 10th next year. That's not that far away.
No, I'm surprised we got a trailer so far.
Yeah, because I had actually forgotten this was even filming.
Yeah.
Like, I remember reading about it, and I think we even talked about it on this. That maybe, like, Finn Wolfhard was in it, and then I think it just, like, sort of forgot about it. Because I don't remember reading anything about it. But to be honest, like, the trailer looked fun. I don't know. This movie will be, like, just sort of popcorn movie kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think.
definitely.
Like, it'll look good. It'll probably have some good effects. There won't be necessarily anything, like, groundbreaking about it,
Yeah.
probably. But if there's, like, I don't know, just to see, like, monsters and ghosts and shit.
Kevin Smith tweeted about it, and he was like, "Oh, thank you, Jason Reitman, about like recapturing how I felt about the first one." It's like, you haven't seen this movie, man.
Yeah.
You just saw a trailer. Like, go cry about something else. He always cries.
Go cry about Batman, you bitch.
It's always like it's always like a picture of him crying. Like it's just like,
When
oh,
someone
this
killed your
fucking
parents.
movie like really got to me, and then it's like 6 paragraphs of him talking about crying and stuff like
Jesus.
that. Yeah. Have we not looked at his Instagram? It's always
I don't
that.
follow
It's
him.
always just millions of paragraphs talking about how sensitive he is.
God damn.
Nothing wrong with that. But
Yeah, another trailer too. The last trailer of the episode, perhaps. No, it is. Promising Young Woman, starring Carey Mulligan, was just released today. So starring Carey Mulligan, Bo Burnham, Alison Brie, and Connie Brighton, among others. There's like a whole bunch of big names in this. Big names?
ish names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Directed and written by Emerald Fennell. She was the head writer for Killing Eve.
They're like recognizable faces. Like you see it and you're like, oh, that guy's in this.
Yeah, like
and you're like,
McLovin's
oh,
in
what's
this.
his name?
Yeah. So the premise is a young woman traumatized by a tragic event in her past seeks out revenge against men who cross her path. I don't know what word I said.
Whim.
Set to release April 17th, 2020 in North America, but will debut at Sundance in January.
This is a good trailer.
Yeah.
Because it gives away a lot, but also at the same time, it sort of leaves like the main plot points like still.
Yeah.
Or not main plot points, but like the in-between points like still up in the air, which is cool. So
Yeah, because you don't
like
know
you're
what,
intrigued enough.
Yeah, you don't know what event actually happens. You sort of get the idea that maybe it's something to do with like
Not her, but her friend.
not being a doctor.
Or something.
Yeah, because she
Yeah.
was like supposed to be in medical school at one point, and then she's like working at a diner or something.
Oh, I got it that she wanted to be a doctor, and her friend, something happened to her, and when she felt guilty for not being able to do more about whatever it was, and then when she brought it to the school's attention, she got kicked out of med school.
Oh, interesting. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, it looked really good. It
And then
looked
she's
like
out for revenge.
so she in the trailer you see her sort of like pretending to be drunk at a bar in different scenarios, and then guys coming up to her and offering help, but then like the guy turns out to be scummy and then takes her back to their apartment and tries to like have sex with her,
Yeah.
but then she sort of like cuts the act as soon as it starts happening, so she can like be like, "Ah, you fucking disgusting, dude."
Yeah, you're gross.
But
Do you think
it looks
she kills
really
them?
good, huh?
Do you think she kills the people?
I don't know. So she has like a journal, and she's like tallying up stuff. So it makes it look like she's killing them.
Yeah.
But
We
I
don't
don't
know. Yeah.
It'd be cool if it was.
Yeah, murder's sick.
Yeah, it is. Bo Burnham's in this. He looks good. He looked like maybe a friend or something. I can't tell. But yeah, cool trailer. Looked interesting.
Yeah, it looks good.
I like the idea of it too.
Yeah. James Bond?
Oh fuck yeah! I forgot to watch that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Do you want to describe it to me?
Yeah, it's
No.
so James Bond.
Oh no.
James Bond, 007, as some know him, is retired, and he's working as a janitor for this like traveling circus.
This doesn't sound right.
And while he's like working for this circus, they get in these like they have like live animals and shit.
Shut up.
And while he's like hanging out, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna befriend this animal," and this animal's like an elephant, and it's like this big ass elephant, and then it's also got like a little elephant, but the elephant has a birth defect, and the little one has huge ass ears, and the mom dies because and James Bond's out for revenge to like save Dumbo. I mean this other elephants.
I can tell it. Movie you've watched recently. Just an elephant. This looks good. It looks cool. I saw this one thing. It was like Casino Royale was so popular and was really good and stuff. And they were like, yeah, like that was such a fun movie. We should just keep doing not that and just go with dark stuff and make them look gritty.
Yeah. This is more the same.
Yeah.
Rami Malek's in this.
He's wearing a cool mask.
Looks like he's been attacked by a jellyfish or something.
Yeah, something like that.
A
lot of car stuff.
Phantom of the Opera mask, and he goes.
Yeah.
At one point, he goes, "You and I are not so different." And it's like, "Yeah, you got attacked by a jellyfish."
Do you know if it's a jellyfish?
I don't know. It just
Oh yeah, right. I watched the first half of this, and it was like there's 009 or something.
Yeah, there's like another double O.
There's another agent.
Yeah.
Which how often has that happened? That there's like another agent.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but I'm sure it has happened.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Looked looked cool. I liked all the settings.
Yeah.
The set pieces.
Elaborate.
No, it's not
What do you like about the set pieces?
They were in a winter one.
Wait, what did you say? It was like an underwater one, and this one was on a this one was on volcano, and there's sometimes it's there's like you're on the moon,
and you go whoa.
Yeah, well, I don't know. This is when we try accents and we're bad at them.
Kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Look cool.
We
I don't have anything written down for that, so just look it up on your own. Yeah, what else? The upcoming Matrix 4 movie has announced a whole bunch of casting additions.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Jonathan Groff.
Groff?
Yeah, did you ever watch Mindhunter?
No.
Okay, so he's the main guy in Mindhunter, or one of, I guess, 3 main guys in Mindhunter. He's really good in that, and a lot of people were speculating that it's going to be maybe like a agent, because he already plays that kind of character in Mindhunter, where he's like stoic. He's sort of, I don't know how you describe it. Well, not like a lot of emotion, so very even keel.
Right.
So it would make sense if that was like who he was playing.
Sure.
Although, like, he's in the new Frozen movie too.
Wait, that guy?
Yeah. Well, he's not
As the same actor?
the Mindhunter guy. He comes in and starts
that's
talking
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's really good. And then Yaha Abdul Mateen, the second, joined the cast as a lead. People sort of speculated that maybe he's going to be young Morpheus.
Ooh, cool.
Which would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Jada Pinkett Smith is back. Jessica Henwick and Neil Patrick Harris were both added.
I know, I saw that.
There was one. It was Neil Patrick Harris was maybe the villain, which that would be interesting. I wonder if he's an agent too. I mean, the only two thing that's the only reason I'm saying that is because like that Jonathan Groff and Neil Patrick Harris both have played people where they wear suits.
Right.
So just automatically.
So that's it.
thinking
You're just
that, yeah.
assuming. You're like, oh my god.
So Lana Wachowski is returning to direct. Alexander Hammond and David Mitchell co-wrote the script with Wachowski, and it's slated to start early next year for filming.
Yeah, that's sick. I didn't realize that the Wachowski was coming back. A Wachowski.
Yeah, only one of them though. Apparently, I read the thing that said that the other one is like Lily, I guess, is like it's not like she doesn't want to do it or something. It's like it literally just doesn't work out, the scheduling.
Oh, okay.
So she just can't.
Oh, that sucks.
Which is kind of nice that it's not like a
Yeah.
sort of
They wanted to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. The last bit of news: Archie Yates, who recently starred in Jojo Rabbit, is set to star as the lead in the new Home Alone reboot.
What?
Yeah. So this was announced yesterday, I guess. So Disney Plus is going to do their own
Oh my god.
Home Alone movie. So it stars Archie Yates and Ellie Kemper and Rob Delaney.
What?
Yeah.
Ellie Kemper and Rob Delaney?
Yeah. So this is so funny. Dan Mazer, who directed Dirty Grandpa,
Sick.
is directing it. And the script was written by two Saturday Night Live writers, Mike Day and Streeter Seidel.
I don't know who either those guys are.
Don't know. According to the Hollywood Reporter, the project is being labeled Home Alone due to similarities in concept, but in execution, the project will have a different title.
Oh.
So
it's Home Alone, but it's not
Home
Home Alone.
But it's not Home Alone. The news story, also according to the Hollywood Reporter, sees Kemper and Delaney play a wife and husband who, in order to save their home from financial ruin, go to war with a kid who has stolen a priceless heirloom.
Wait, what? So it's as if Macaulay Culkin was an asshole and was just like...
So he's stolen something from the parents,
Yeah,
and then they have to get it.
No, it doesn't sound like it's his parents.
No, it's not his parents.
Yeah.
It's like a different set of parents
Yeah.
that are trying to get this thing from him that he's
They're trying to get it back.
Yeah. Who has stolen a priceless heirloom. Yeah.
Oh. What the fuck?
I know. That doesn't even sound like Home
Not
Alone.
even Home Alone. At one point, is that kid home alone? The heirloom is Home Alone. That's
Maybe
it.
he's like
The entire movie revolves around them walking up a set of stairs to the heirloom at the top. They're like, wow, it's a good thing this heirloom was Home Alone.
and they look at the camera.
Yeah. Wah, wah.
What?
You know, like an old timey sound.
Disney Plus logo
Yeah.
shows up. Yeah, that's pretty much it for news. Do you have anything else?
Nope.
Okay, do you want to talk about the movie?
Yep.
Knives Out, starring Daniel Craig, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Ana de Armas. Do we want to read the full casting? Because there's like so many big names in this. Michael Shannon, Don Johnson, Toni Collette, Lakeith Stanfield, Christopher Plummer, Catherine Langford, and Jaden Martell. So this movie is basically from
Did you say Lakeith Stanfield?
yeah. A detective investigates the death of a patriarch of an eccentric, combative family.
Right.
So it's just like a giant family, and they're all rich, and basically the guy who dies, Christopher Plummer, is a writer, and he's made a ton of money being a writer, sounds like. And then this whole family is like...
He's a Stephen King type.
Yes.
In that he looks weird wearing glasses.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen Stephen King like without glasses
Yeah.
and with glasses?
Yeah.
Two different people.
Yeah.
Stephen. Well, fuck.
Stefane.
Never mind.
Steffo.
Stephen King.
What if people get that reference?
What's that from? That's from
The
like
Simpsons.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking like Goofy movie.
Oh, it might be. I don't know. Yeah, right.
Oh no,
The friend
making
from-
copies. What's that from?
That's Pauly Shore. That's
Oh,
Pauly
yeah,
Shore
yeah.
in The Simpsons.
Yeah,
He's
no,
going,
no.
Making copies.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
It's Family Guy, actually.
I don't know.
No, I think it's Simpsons.
I think you're right. It is Pauly Shore.
Making copies.
Stephen King. It doesn't even work.
The first time he said it was fine.
Yeah. Anyways,
So there's a big family, and then the dad or the grandfather dies, but he kind of dies in a mysterious way. So then they have a detective show up and a cop. And
Well, the cops show up. The cops show up, and then there's a private investigator.
Yeah,
who's been hired.
And they're interviewing. So like the first bit of the movie, they're interviewing the family members, and they're getting like their side of the story and stuff.
One of the things I liked about this was that they showed, you could hear the interviews happening in their side of the story, and then it showed you what actually happened too. So it was like a sweet parallel where you're like, oh, they're lying or something.
Yeah, they're full of shit.
Or they're like covering something up or whatever it is.
I really liked this movie. It was really, really good.
Yeah.
I liked everything about it. I thought it was like funny when it was not trying to be trying too hard to be funny. It was just funny. Like Daniel Craig was hilarious through the entire thing, and his accent was perfect. Like it's
Logan Lucky. That's all it is,
and it was like he did it right from the beginning. You hear him talking, you're like, and then you don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Anymore after that. It was great.
Chris Evans makes fun of him for him sounding like the Colonel from KFC.
Yeah.
Which is like so perfect because he's like one I do declare away from just sounding like Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah. What did he call him? He said Kentucky Fried.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was something funny. He had like some line. Anyway.
Yes. That line that was funny that I can't remember.
Yeah, I thought that all the acting was amazing. Like Michael Shannon just being like explosive. You know, he's like freaking out over stuff, but then he's sort of he's like not quite as like Jamie Lee Curtis's character. She's sort of like this like conniving, sort of like
eccentric and full of herself and confident and
And then Michael Shannon is like they're all so similar to each other, but just different ways of expressing it.
Yeah.
Which I thought was
Don
really
Johnson's like a dickhead, but like doesn't realize he's a dickhead.
Yeah.
And then like Toni Collette, who is the like leech ex or like widowed wife.
Yeah,
that
she's
married
not
into
actually
that
related
family.
to any of them. Yeah. She's just like.
But she's been like living off of the grandfather, or I guess her father-in-law.
Christopher Plummer. Yeah.
But like. The acting in this movie is so good, so over the top that it's like it's weird in the sense that I think like any other movie, any sort of like other dialogue, and you had this acting, it'd be like, this is bad.
Yeah.
But I think it just works so well with just the way that it's written and everything.
They were just like all
everybody's
committed.
Eccentric. Everything is 100% like it all works in the world that it's in.
The only person that wasn't.
Lakeith Stanfield.
Yes. The only person that wasn't through the entire movie, even his partner, the trooper,
who's a super fan.
Wagner or whatever his name is, was like a super fan. And he was even like pretty eccentric. But then Lakeith Stanfield is like, there's like bits where he's like, what is happening?
he kind of has this like look on his face, like he's just constantly looking around being like, what the fuck? And like it was kind of funny to be like the audience member, like also seeing what he's seeing at the same time.
Yeah.
And then also with the nurse too, because what's her name? Starting with an M.
So the nurse,
Marta, that's it.
Sorry,
Marta.
Yeah,
and
so
like you're sort of living through her as well.
Marta is like the caretaker of the Christopher Plummer guy who dies, and then it turns out that she accidentally killed him because she thought she gave him morphine, and then he didn't want her to get in trouble, so he killed himself.
Yes.
And then it was this big cover up, but even she was eccentric to the point where like she couldn't tell a lie, and if she ever lied,
she'd puke.
She would just puke, which I thought was so funny.
It's such a weird character trait in this movie. Like, it's such like it again. Like, it's one of these things where it's like that shouldn't work. That's not a characteristic that works and like shouldn't work, but it did, and it's funny. I think so much of this movie is like it's so perfect. Like, it just fits together so well.
Yeah.
And there's like just the way that it's filmed, the way that it's edited, the way that it's done, like everything about it is so great.
Yeah.
And like, this is like one of those movies, and I think we've said this on here before. Like, it's one of those movies that scratches that itch.
Yes.
Like, there hasn't been something like this in a little while. You see it, and you're like, holy shit, that's exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah. And
it feels like if Clue was real, like if the Clue movie was like, if there was a Clue movie, which I think there was, but like,
yeah. Well, that was the other thing too. Like, it doesn't all happen. I really like that it didn't happen all in one day. It's sort of spread out. Like, I think we were trying to figure it out. It was like a few days, like maybe even a week that it all happens. Like, because they're doing their interviews and then they're like, other stuff is happening and they're like trying to piece together different meetings and stuff. And it all sort of spread out and you sort of just see it winding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just love like the bit about they all like stress so much about how they're self-starters or whatever. They're like work so hard, and then it like turns out that each and every one of them had taken like had been given money basically to start whatever they were doing, or like was handed something, or like so none of them were actual self-starters or like
but they all like fancied themselves as self-starters. Like she like what's her face? Jamie Lee Curtis got a loan to start
$1 million loan,
to like, and that's obviously like a bit on the nose as far as like what that's in reference to, but like that was kind of funny because she just talks about how it's her business. She made him write a prenup and all this stuff, and like fair enough, but like you find out later that that's not necessarily like all true. And then with Michael Shannon, it's like, oh, it's his publishing company, he publishes all the books, but it's actually the dad's publishing company where he's just made this guy like in charge. And then he fires him. And then with like Toni Collette, like she's supposed to like be trying to fend for the daughter to put her through school. It's like you find out that like actually she's been stealing money from him and stuff like that.
Double dipping the school and her like separately, and he didn't know. So she was paying the school, but then taking money from him that would have been for the school because he didn't realize that he was paying her twice, basically. But yeah, like then that's so great too, is that you eventually find out all this stuff, and then it does a good job of being like it could be any of these people. They all have motives, and you sort of are figuring it out as you go. And I like the big reveal about like, I think you kind of already know that it's Chris Evans, but at the same time, like there's something about him where like, okay, well maybe he's trying to be good, like and that I think is credit to Chris Evans as an actor because he does play the nice straight guy so well. That in the like scenes where he's getting yelled at or whatever, he's good at like brushing it off and being the hotshot like smart ass son or grandson. And then as things kind of like turn out, you're like, holy shit, this guy's not like a legit like murderer. And he's like the biggest psychopath of all of them.
And everything comes out, and the way that it comes out is so interesting too. And like there's so many like happen chances too. Like she technically didn't poison him. He ended up actually killing himself because she just knew that it was the wrong one or right one, but when she put it down, she said like, holy shit, like no, I actually poisoned him. And then when oh shoot, I lost my train of thought. Oh, when he gets arrested, he could have like stopped. There was something where he could have stopped her finding out about it. And him finding out about it, but Chris Evans, because he gets like arrested because I think he did it because it couldn't have been Marta. It stops him from being able to like foil it basically. So they end up across like all this stuff, which I like because like it shouldn't just fit together nice and neatly. There should be sort of like chance that something doesn't
loose
work.
Ends and then stuff that just happens to happen.
Which I know some people like argue like coincidentally that this stuff happens, but I liked it. I was all in. Like I think it's one of those movies where you accept what's going to happen in the very first 2 minutes of it, and you're just along for the ride, which I loved.
That's why I loved how it set it up. It was just like, this is the thing that happened. Now everything that happens after this in this movie, you're seeing as it's happening, right? Like,
right.
And I loved everything about like the writing for this. I thought it was really clever, and everything was like, especially like the ending, because you think you're gonna put it together that like because they keep setting it up that the grandfather was like, he loved games and he loved playing games, and
this is all part of the game.
It was all part of the game, and they all kept referencing that, and so then you're thinking, oh, this is all. He didn't actually like die, or he didn't do this out of vain or whatever. Like something's gonna happen where it turns out this is a game, and then it completely like takes a left turn from that, and then it goes like nope, like literally that guy tried to kill him.
Well, and then even at the end when they're asking, when Daniel Craig's character is asking Marta, they're like talking about, like, she goes kind of like, how did you know it wasn't me? And he kind of said something, and then he points at her shoe, and there's blood on her shoe. And they had kind of like zoomed in on it early in the movie, and you're going like, well, maybe what she's describing as happening isn't actually what happened.
Yes, maybe she did
kill him or something like that.
Yeah.
And he kind of thinks that too, because it just seems weird. But then he kind of turns out that like he wanted her to stick around and be his like confidant, as he says, so that he could keep an eye on her from like fucking with things. Yeah. And it kind of turned out they were both kind of doing the exact same thing
to each
other, and she was trying to figure it out as they were going.
So he's feeling her out, and then she's just trying to make sure that she's not going to get in trouble here.
Yes, exactly. And then it turns out that she actually had nothing to do with it, and she didn't poison him whatsoever. And then he kind of pieces it together, and it's like this grand like thing. And I love that. Like, I'm all for that type of exposition where you're sort of like finding out as the other characters are, which is like always fun. But sometimes that's just like, it feels like you're being force-fed information, but I didn't think so. I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. It's like the way that was done, it didn't feel like it was like information overload, because to that point, you had already made all those connections. And like I said, like you already have a feeling of where it's going. You just don't have that last chink of information yet. And literally nobody else does except for Daniel Craig.
And even at then, he's kind of just figuring it out at the same time, too.
Because then he's like, even the bit where he keeps talking about the donut hole.
Yeah, and he's like trying to use this like dumb metaphor about like,
but he doesn't like know how it's supposed to come out.
And he's trying to say there's a donut hole in this donut hole, and that's the piece and that's the piece that's missing. It's like, oh my god.
But yeah, like him verbalizing literally his like he's going through what information he has, and then he's piecing it together, and he's saying, well, if this thing happened, then this happened, then this would happen, and this would happen, so then these people would be like he's figuring it out. So it's not like exposition of stuff that you already know, or someone's just going like, all right, listen up, he killed her, they killed him for them, whatever. Like, it's much more interesting, I guess.
I think that's maybe where this movie thrives, is that it makes the like more mundane, the possible mundaneness of some of these scenes. Like, it makes the more boring scenes or potential boring scenes way more interesting. Yeah. And that's what this movie does so well. It's like it takes some of those scenes and goes like, well, like, here's a funny accent, and here's this stuff, and this is what they're saying, but it actually isn't happening, and then this is how it's kind of playing out, and like maybe he doesn't have it all right, but like this is actually what happened, and it does it so well that I keep coming back to this. Is I really think this is such a like lucky movie in the way that it's pieced together. I think that any other way, any other actors, and any other like the way that it's formulated, it would not work. And I think that's just there's something about it that kind of tells me that like I really think that this is such a like a flash in the pan type movie. Yeah. But that's what I'm like so excited about, because like you won't get something like this. This is a movie where I would watch it 100 times.
Oh yeah, I definitely want to watch this again, because there's even like bits about there's like the little details. There's even like each of the family members calls Marta or says that she's from like a different country. Yeah. Because like they talk about how much they like care for her and stuff, and
even Don Johnson says 2 different countries. He says Paraguay and Uruguay.
And as he's talking to her, he's like handing her that plate.
Yeah.
He's like they're all eating and stuff, and he's like handing her the plate. He's like, take this. I love the kids, the like her being so like, you know, the like classic sort of millennialism.
There's the two opposites. Like they have the like, and again, they don't get like a ton of like play, but you have like the classic like SJW type, and then you've got literally like a Nazi troll, like right wing, like just the classic type, two ends of the spectrum type thing, which I thought was funny. And then you have like Chris Evans, who's this egotistical maniac who can't, or just like they allude to him maybe having like that small dick type syndrome where like, he's got like the fancy car, he dresses fancy, he's loud,
he has a nice house, like that's so funny. They actually go to his house.
Yeah, for that one scene. That's like
and it's like
5 seconds long.
And then he's got like this crazy house in like the forest.
Yeah, it kind of looks like the house that's used in like Justice League, like the recent one that Bruce Wayne lives in.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Or even do you remember Girl with a Dragon Tattoo?
Mm-hmm.
And there's like the guy, the Skarsgård, he has like that crazy house on the top, and it's like all futuristic looking.
Oh, I don't remember.
That's what that reminded me, because it's like in a forest and everything too. That was a good movie, actually.
Yeah. Anyways,
I think this is one of my favorite movies of the year.
Yeah, same. It's definitely up there.
It just like you said, it checked all the boxes. Like it was such a fun movie to watch. Like it was sort of you're in it right away, and then it was one of the movies where it's like it was like a full theater when we saw it, but everybody was like having a great time. Like people were laughing at everything. Like it was like it felt very involved. Like you yourself were sort of part of it, and I guess that's like very similar to what Clue was too,
right?
Where you're sort of like going along with it because you're also trying to figure it out, which I guess is like a credit to the writing then, because you want to figure out what's happening, but you also want to figure it out on your own.
Yeah, same. Yeah, and I think there was a point in this movie where, and it was like really early, where I kind of just maybe subconsciously decided that I wasn't going to try and figure it out.
Yeah.
Because I think it just brings you in so quickly that you're kind of like, I'm just happy to be here type thing. Like you just along for the ride. And I remember listening to like another podcast, and he was kind of talking about that, where he tries to just like lay into it like a little bit, like he just kind of gives in to whatever the movie wants. Sure. And he said like it's so much more enjoyable to do that in a movie where I think going into it I knew it was going to be good. Yeah. And I knew this is kind of something I'd enjoy, so I was like, let's just fucking do this. Like it sounds great. Yeah. Anything else?
No.
I like the score. I like the cinematography. I think I just liked everything about this.
Yeah. Pretty much like so this was Rian Johnson, right? So
yeah. Star
Wars, that cool monster movie.
Yeah.
I think he did one of the Godzillas or something. Or no, Monsters. That's what it was.
Monsters. Wait, did he do the Godzilla?
I think he did, Godzilla? Yeah. I like Rian Johnson. People
too.
give him shit. Yeah. But I didn't think The Last Jedi was as bad as people say it is. It's fine. I don't know.
He did Looper.
That's right.
Brothers Bloom, which is apparently pretty good. Yeah, Star Wars The Last Jedi. Brick.
Oh, yeah, I did see Brick. Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I don't think he's the one that did Monster.
Okay, I'm thinking of someone else then.
I know who you're thinking of. It's whoever did the redo of the Godzilla movie. Yeah. Anyways, what would you give this?
7 out of 7. First perfect score of the year. Well, maybe. I don't know. Maybe we did have more.
I think I'm going to say, I want to say 7. I'm going to say 6.75.
Why?
And only in the sense that the thing I liked about this movie is also the thing where I think all the happen chance and the coincidences, it was like a fun, whimsical way of doing this movie. Mm-hmm. It also relies so much of that working for this movie to work, and that's it, I think. But yeah,
I think it was really good. I'm excited to
watch it again.
Definitely, it's gonna be a movie I think that we watch a few times. Yep. What do you think we watch next?
I don't know.
Star Wars is coming up.
Star Wars is coming out next Friday.
Yeah, the 20th.
Yeah, so not 2 days, but.
And then Mandalorian, I think, wraps up pretty soon too.
Yeah, we could do an episode on that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look right now.
Mandalorian. I think Watchmen just wrapped up too.
Yeah, I haven't really seen too much of that.
I gotta go back. And
Marriage Story, I think.
yeah, right.
That's one. I'm kind of looking right now.
Did you see The Irishman? Netflix like released how many people watched it.
No.
It was like 11.7 million people.
Oh wow. Oh,
Like
Dark Waters, Queen and Slim. That's a lot.
Oh,
dude.
Queen and Slim.
A Beautiful Day in the
Oh
Neighborhood.
yeah, didn't I write a bunch of these down too?
Yeah. Parasite would be kind of a good like maybe year end episode.
Maybe let's do that.
Um,
Dr. Sleep.
Honey Boy, Peterborough Falcon is another one. Ford vs Ferrari.
We never did do Lighthouse.
Might have to just watch it. Yeah, again, Lighthouse too.
And then we might do our best movies of 2019.
It might be a January episode though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do we want to do another album one?
Yeah.
That was fun last year.
Yep. It was
This
one
year,
of
I
our
guess.
longer episodes, I think, too.
One of our most popular ones.
No.
Yeah. I went through it. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for listening. It's been Twin Speaks. You can follow us on Instagram at Twin Speaks Pod. I'm on Twitter at KidComo_. Andrew's on Instagram at Animonium. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
But